every once in a while, there's a production company that fills audiences with a glimmer of hope. Something that lets us believe there's still room for talented writers, directors, and actors in the ever-expanding streaming wars epic. Apple TV seems to be serving up more hits than a Billy Joel tribute band. Sure, they can't all be gems.
80s Billy Joel doo-wop sucks! Hey, listen, mother! We only sing 80s Joel!
But their current rate would have them Sammy Sosa in front of a congressional subcommittee. Following up the likes of Ted Lasso, Blackbird, and Severance is Hijack. The story of a hijacked commercial plane from Dubai to London, told over the course of a 7-hour flight, is a classic tale of suspense, betrayal, and love. Hijack is phenomenal at presenting the dramatic story of a hijacking and how real individuals might behave in this situation. Rather than a 7-episode slugfest bullet barrage action, it draws you in with suspenseful character decisions, well-thought-out dialogue, and a deep examination of the human character. Idris, who plays the main character Sam Nelson, is a muscle-bound, stone-jawed giant of a man. But throughout the series, he rarely dominates situations with physicality, rather using his own mind and skills as a corporate acquisition negotiator to navigate seemingly impossible situations of facing down 5 hijackers with guns on a plane. In one of the best writing and performance demonstrations on television in the last few years, the writers and Idris expertly portrayed a character designed to keep the audience from ever truly knowing his motivations. Whether his actions and deeds on the plane were driven from a self-serving desire or selfless acts of love and compassion, it's up to the interpretation of the viewer. At different times, Sam claims both to be true, and you're never quite sure what his next move is going to be, or exactly why he chooses to do them. It's an excellent examination of a character thrust into an extraordinary position, where each decision or action he makes could mean the death of himself, his loved ones, and even complete strangers. As cliched as it may be to say, Hijack is an edge-of-your-seat suspense, with no reservations about keeping the audience guessing. Through well-established plot twists, a Game of Thrones attitude towards characters, and reliance on some amount of realism. The show puts you right in the action on the plane and the suspense on the ground as traffic controllers, politicians, special forces, and police try to solve the problem in real time. Unlike most every other show right now, it treats the audience as adults, rather than as if they were that munja-cake friend of a friend's kid. You know the one. Caden likes to express himself by biting everyone. Runs around the restaurant until that magical moment when he clocks his forehead on the side of a table. Ugh, it's the little things in life that bring you joy. And joy of joys, the showrunners created a character in Alice Sinclair, played by Eve Miles, who seems to be a conduit for the audience as she continuously displays common sense ideas and thoughts which are so often omitted in many major suspense stories. Alice is the main air traffic controller in charge of the hijacked flight and never leaves well enough alone simply in order to move the plot forward. Instead, she brings much-needed comic and intellectual relief to the crews on the ground, challenging superiors whenever an overused trope is presented. And she does so in such a manner that doesn't take away from any of the suspense of the situation or the tension between characters on the ground and in the air. It's a refreshing addition to the thriller story that can so often remove viewers from any sense of reality when the good guys trying to save the day make decisions as if they were any given Floridian smacked out of their mind on PCP at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Nearly all the characters in the show possess the most vital characteristic needed for audience connection. Flaws. Characters without flaws is like vegan meatloaf. Oh, madone, whatever the hell that is. It simply doesn't work. They aren't human, and we as the audience have a difficult time relating to them, eventually feeling hatred, or even worse, nothing at all. Each intelligence and police officer, politician, air traffic controller, passengers, and even the baddies all have imperfections that gives the audience a notion as to their motivations. Politicians trying to solve the unsolvable. Law enforcement combating duty against their own morality. Passengers juggling self-preservation against compassion. And even the hijackers, some coerced into this extraordinary situation, others willingly, battle with the urge for survival against ethical dilemmas. In such a short time span, each character's story is given time to breathe, as the writers, directors, and actors examine the hijacking from every perspective. So much so to the point that there are times when you forget about good versus evil, and you just begin to root for the story being told. Not every decision is made perfectly, and Hijack does better than most, but some decisions are, well,
just a bit outside.
There are some actions taken by characters that will bring about the obligatory thriller groan, like Sam's son forgetting that there were 2 hitmen inside his father's house, or officers tailing bad guys way too close even though they planted a tracking device, or not thinking that the bad guys would switch vehicles knowing that they planted a device. But the rest is so well written that these decisions don't take away from the overall story being told or the tension in the show. Hijack is a wonderful story about a terrible event, and each episode brings its own suspenseful thrill ride for the audience. More than that, it's a brilliant examination of human character, giving us insight and in-depth analysis of regular people trying to do something extraordinary, whether for right or for wrong reasons. You're able to witness every character, major and minor, grapple with decisions in situations they can barely comprehend, trying to do the lesser of two evils. Idris Elba puts in a phenomenal performance of a character that should become a future benchmark for thriller heroes or anti-heroes, whichever way you want to take it. And that's the greatest success of the show, the interpretation it allows the viewer to make, rather than ramming a self-satisfying message down our throats like we're Sasha Grey. Uncle Sal gave me that joke. What do I know? If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't, thank you for watching. See you next time.